Stop talking. Go to WhatsApp now.
Why?
No, no.
Ma, if you can hear me, your mic is muted. You can unmute.
Thank you. Can you hear me now, Sylvia?
Yes.
I was
Yes,
speaking. I was speaking big grammar. I didn't fully unmute myself. Okay, so good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us from whatever part of the globe you're joining us. We want to welcome you to the June webinar for the Read community. And as we've advertised, it promises to be great. It's going to worth every single second of your time, trust me. For those of us joining us for the first time, who are we at Read? The Read community, as the name implies, READ. That's actually who we are. That's what we do. The READ stands for an acronym. R is raising ethical millionaires. E is expanding the mind through knowledge. A is acquisition of the knowledge. D is doing first things first. And we have a vision, we have a goal that every year would raise ethical millionaires. There are different ways of making money. Some people steal, some people kill, but we understand that it is possible to actually make money in an ethical way where you can go to sleep. So we have this vision that every year 10 ethical millionaires in any currency. So it doesn't matter that you're earning in yen, you're earning in naira, you're earning in dollars, you're earning in pounds. We look at ageless principles and we follow these principles month in, month out. This month, we just finished an amazing book. I would recommend that book for anybody, any day, anytime. Compound Effect. You've seen some of the success stories. And one key takeaway for me in Compound Effect is you keep at it even when you don't feel like it. Everybody feels like quitting. Champions, the superstars, everybody gets to a stage in their careers, in their lives, in their businesses that they just want to give up. Like, I'm just tired. And that's the main thing we learned this month. Compound effect, keep at it. The power of consistency. If you've not read the book, please, I'm recommending I'm recommending it. It's for me an all-time best seller. I will not want to take our time too much. I'm going to be handing over to Solafunmi. Solafunmi is a very interesting personality. When people tell me that I have energy, I tell them you need to meet Shola. So let me introduce Shola to you. I know you've read her profile, but she is an amazing person. I think she's not that I think, I know she is a blessing to this generation. She's a woman, so I use that to challenge the men. Because when I look at what she's doing, I'm like, if the women are the weaker vessels, and the weaker vessels are doing this much, the stronger vessels, we are waiting to see your exploits. We've seen her profile. Our profile is part of the reason why we invited her. She is somebody that on investment alone, she has read over 350 books and still counting. Acquisition of knowledge, the right knowledge cannot be overemphasized in personal growth. And one of the things I find very interesting about her is a never die spirit. You know, she always has that energy. She brings up that energy to fall, brings it to play, and we'll be pleased as much as possible. Let's make this interactive. We would be asking lots of questions. She would be talking to us on high risk investments. She'll be talking about stocks. She'll be talking about cryptocurrencies, which is actually a very strong area of expertise. As we say, there is no investment that is zero risk. So there are different risk levels. And what I have realized personally is with the right knowledge, we make the right decision. With no more further ado, I would like to hand over to Shola Charles, as we popularly call her. Charles, over to you. You can unmute and take over. Thank you so very much. It's an honor, it's a privilege to have you on this platform.
So much, Siri. Thank you very, very much. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope everyone can hear me. It's really fantastic to be here. I'm super excited. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I started following up when Tumi told me about it, and I promise you that it's been a fantastic one. Well done. To me, even me, when Tumi was reading the profile, I was like, Sheminia, is that me? Oh no. But yeah, it's really nice. I'm going to share a screen, and I hope that's fine to me. Because when I present, I always feel like people follow better when there's something that they can see. So I hope that everyone can see my screen, and they can at least see some of the things that I will be showing you. So quickly, to me has introduced me. Thank you to me, Nina. Super appreciate being here. My name is Solafunmi. I own a very modest but growing Instagram page where I discuss things that have to do with investment. Now, what I try to say is always my selling point, or why I tell people to follow me is very easy. It's because I'm exactly like you. I studied, have multiple degrees in nursing, I have MBA, I've worked in the entertainment industry for a long while. But investment is something I've always wanted to do. I always say I'm the quintessential Nigerian. Hustling is like my middle name. Selling hair, clothes, shoes, everything. That's how I started. And I just started discovering investment along the way. And as I started investing and started, learning so much and reading thousands of articles and all, and books and stuff. So that's why I know Compounding Effect is one of the best books ever. There's a lot of great books you can read, a lot of resources that you don't have to be an expert. And I think what really drove me is the fact that I believe that it's my calling to let people know that you don't have to be, have $1 million or a millionaire to start investing. You can start with your 5K, 10,000 naira and stuff. And it's all about how you split. Apologies, Nigeria happened. How you split your investment. That's really how that's really how you're able to. I hope you guys can still hear me clearly. Just want to open the chat so I can see things. So it's really it's how you start and how you go on, and it's really about what you believe and how you really impact, and you really do the things that you read is how you practice them and how you start out. And I promise you, it's very, very simple. When Nini reached out to me and said, babe, let's talk about high risk investment, I said, that's great, but I'm really going to talk about just investment in general, just so that, and I, like you said, my core is really about the US stock market and cryptocurrencies. And I want to introduce them to you in a way that you would understand it and you see how easy it is for you and me. And at the end of the session, I'm going to keep it very short, as short as possible. Don't mind me, I like talking. It's my immediate. At the end of the session, I'll share for you, portfolio split, a sample portfolio split of how you can divide your stuff, still include some high risk, but then really focus on a more diversified portfolio. Because I think the biggest thing with us and the biggest thing that we fear is losing our money. But how about you mix your fear, or you curtail your fear by you curtail your fear by dividing your stuff, dividing your money into different investment stuff, depending on how high risk, how low risk and stuff, and mixing them nicely such that no matter what, you will not lose out on the high income and you will not lose too much when things go down. So that's what I try to do. Now, going forward, quickly, one of the first thing I always start with is this, guys. The US the stock market is the world's greatest wealth creating machine. You are doing yourself phenomenal wickedness. You are your own village people if you don't get in today. That's where the wealth is. And I discovered this after reading, like my life depended on it, because I wanted to be rich. I owned shops. That's how bad it was. Like, what did I sell? I told everything. But when I started reading and I discovered the US stock market, and by God's grace, it became available to us as Nigerians just on our phones like this. That's when I realized that you can create wealth. You just need to know what you want to do. Why do I want you to get into the US stock market? Apart from being the greatest wealth creating machine in the world, you will earn higher rewards, higher returns than the regular investments that everyone sees around. What's more, it will protect you from inflation. Do you know what inflation is doing to us? Your 100K in Nigeria that you had in 2016, 5 years ago, it's probably worth 50K now if you look at it, if you look at what you can use it to buy. What's more, if you had put that same 100K into an ETF, and I'll explain what an ETF is as I go forward. If you put it into an ETF that makes you an average of 20% a year, and guys, this is doable. It's simple, it's direct. Guys, please, don't mind me, I get passionate about this. Please put questions in the chat box. I always keep it open when I'm presenting so that you can get a chance to, if you have any questions and stuff, I can ask. You can ask and I can answer quickly. So if you put your money, if you put this money in an ETF making 20% or an average of 20% a year, you're looking at some phenomenal increase just in this short time. In this short 5 years, you'll have probably made at the very least at least 120% over that 100K. And again, you are putting it in dollars. So your money is growing. What's more, what other thing? The ease of selling. The fact that if I'm sure a lot of you are probably, you own lands or your parents own lands and stuff or houses. You know how long it is to sell a house, or to even say, oh, you own house, you rent it out, they're not making lands anymore. Very true. But do you know how long it is to get some tenants out of your house? Do you know how long it is to get your money in some places? Whereas stocks, the way you buy, palm is the way you sell. Palm, nobody's holding you. Those are the things that I love. And then you're able to diversify. You're able to buy different things. The companies you love. I've seen a lot of guys here. So I know you guys love Sony. You guys love all these PS5. How many of you has bought the shares from Sony? All these games that we play, the games that we all love. If I tell you how much the owners of Candy Crush, please tell me in the chat box if some of you don't have Candy Crush on your phone. Did you know that Activision Blizzard, the company that owned Candy Crush, did you know that last year they made over $1 billion just from you playing Candy Crush? Over $1 billion. If you own a share in Activision Blizzard and you owned it for a couple of years, you are a millionaire in dollars just because they have those great things that keep people engaged. So you are earning money, passive income you don't have to sweat for. That's what you do when you invest. So anybody that tells you not to invest is a liar. And what's more, what else do I love about this thing? You can start fractionally. What do I mean by that? You can buy a tiny portion of a share. That's the biggest mistake a lot of us miss. We think that when we have to invest, where will I get? They said one Amazon share is $3,000. How will I buy it? You don't have to buy $3,000 activation share. As a matter of fact, if you had $100, you could buy 10 different shares. What am I saying? You could buy 20 different shares. That same Amazon share that's $3,000 for one, you can easily buy $2 worth of it. I'm telling you, because you see your sister here, I have bought Amazon shares of $2 before. The money is remaining there. I put it inside my app. I buy Amazon share, 2,000 naira. Gaskia, I remove my eye, leave it on. Same thing for Apple shares, same thing for some of these great companies. All of us use these companies. I use a Mac. I love Mac products. So I use Mac, I use Apple. But I tell you, if I spend 1,000 naira on my Apple phone, or on my MacBook, I'm ensuring that I've invested 10,000 in Apple shares because I know what these things can do to change your future. Don't mind me. I get carried away when I start talking about stuff. So what is a stock? Stock is just a tiny portion, of ownership in any company. And the stock price changes just based on the flimsy opinion of the masses in the short term. Meaning if all of us are buying Tesla shares today, Tesla shares go up. But in the long run, is really where you see the value of a company. Case in point, I always give this direction. Amazon shares in 1997, when Amazon listed on the US stock market, if you had used $1,000, $1,000 in 1997 was only 90,000 naira. Why do I know? Because my mom used to sell clothes and she was always buying and selling. So we knew how much dollar was in our house, even from a young age. If you had spent, or if your folks had spent $1,000 on Amazon shares in 1997 when it listed, today, my people, today, as at June 26, 2019 and 2021, you'll be sitting on $2.1 million. And I didn't stutter. $2.1 million in shares, in Amazon shares. That's what you'll be sitting on just from investing in that. So you will see that in the long term, that's when you really see the value of a good company. And look at Amazon continue growing. Just last year alone, if you invested in Amazon shares, you'll have made 40% of your money. So you put a thousand, 100K, you'll have made 100, and you will have been on 140K just by putting your money there and not doing anything. That's what I love about investing. You don't have to do anything. The company works for you. That's really what I love about it. Moving forward, now a lot of people wish you and say, Charles, this investment you're talking about is very risky. Oh, true. If you invested in 10 companies 10 years ago, by today, there's likelihood of at least 3 of them going down. But then, what if there was a way to do it that you didn't have to lose all that money? What if there was a way to hedge your risk without you even choosing individual companies? That's where ETFs come in. And the reason I put this together for us is just to show you that depending on your risk level, depending on all these things you're doing, there's really a way for you to still make money in the stock market, make money investing without stress, without even checking stock, without checking that, as Elon Musk going to say rubbish now if I have Tesla shares. So what do I mean by that? The answer to me, and I always tell people when they ask me what's the safest way to invest, I always say get an ETF. What's an ETF? ETF is called exchange traded funds. So look at what I mean. Exchange traded funds, meaning stock exchange traded funds. So an ETF is literally just like a mutual fund, but then it's traded on the stock exchange like a stock. What do I mean by that? Imagine a big basket, or better still, imagine a mortar, and inside this mortar, put on the AC, Jimmy. Please put on the AC. Use the remote. Imagine in this mortar, you had shares of Apple, Amazon, APN, Microsoft, Google. You put them all in this mortar and you pound it together nicely. And once you pounded it together, yeah, if you now buy one share of the stuff you pounded in that mortar, one share of it, you bought a tiny portion of all the companies in that mortar. That's what an ETF is. It's just a basket where you put different shares, different investment instruments, like you call it. And I find that all these jargons and stuff is what doesn't make me invest. Me, I speak it the way it is, the way I understand it, because I feel like that way, once we don't say, oh, securities, this, then it makes it easier for all of us. So that's what an ETF is. You put everything in a basket. If I buy one share of that basket, I've automatically invested. That's fine, baby. Tell your daddy. I've automatically invested in all the companies in that ETF. And you know what I love about ETFs? As much as there's companies in the world, there's ETFs that track gold. That if you liked investing in gold, there's ETF for it. There's ETF that track technology companies. There's ETF that actually tracks all of the US stock market. That if you invested in that, you're invested in all the companies in the US stock market. There's ETF that tracks all the companies in the world. Like, look, there's ETF for example, I'll give you before I get there. Now, ETFs, what I love about them is they have what we call very low expense ratios, very low commissions. I'll give you a quick example. I used to invest a lot in Nigerian stock market and stuff, but I realized that, I don't do it. I don't want to be anti-Nigeria. Don't report me to Guario. But one of the best things I did this year was to carry my money and move into cryptocurrency. All my Nigerian stock, I sold it. It was the best decision ever. It's gone down. The market has gone down. But I would rather stick it out there where things are moving than the stock market where the denomination, the inflation alone is making you poorer and poorer every day. So if I'm making 3 shares, $3, 3 naira on Google, on GT shares, it pays me to go and make half a dollar on Tesla shares, because I know what I'm getting is in dollars, a stable currency that is not depreciating every day. So expense ratios on ETFs are very low. What do I mean by that? If you invested in some of the funds in Nigeria that I've invested in for a while, and trust me, I've invested in quite a number of ETFs, you realize something very, very fast. Yeah, the ratios, the amount they charge you is expensive. What do I mean? People will say, just 2%. Solafunmi, you are a Jebuma. 2% a year, period, that's small. It's not small, though. If you calculate it in the next couple of years, you've spent millions. just a management fee on something that is going down that you have no control over. Whereas if you invested in most ETF, they are what we call passively managed, meaning that there's not one human being that's sitting and that you have to pay, that they're paying to be doing it. No, what happens is usually they've already programmed all of these things into machine and codes. So if this company goes down, it automatically sells. If this company comes up, it automatically picks up more shares. So they don't need to manage it. Therefore, the amount you pay in management fees is what they call expense ratios, and it's very low. What do I mean? If you invested like $10,000 or 10,000 naira into stock into a ETF like the S&P 500 ETF, you probably will spend 10 naira a whole year on fees, like as low as 10 naira, 0.01%, 0.05%, not 0.5, 0.05 or 0.04% or 3%, something ridiculous. So really low fees compared to 2%. 2% of 10,000 naira, you know what that is? It might look like small, alone, yes, just 200 naira. Why is this, madam? But then compared to paying 10 naira or compared to paying 20 naira, that's how you look at it. That's how you gauge these things. That's how you invest. And that's what's great about it. It gives you coverage of different companies, different stuff you love. And what do I mean? Let me move forward quickly. As much as there's companies, there's ETFs. What do I mean? You like bonds and you want to be safe. There's ETFs for bonds. You like industries, like oil, like banking, like financial services, like REITs, real estate investment trusts, like so many companies in the world. There's ETFs for it. Technology, cloud computing, innovation. There's ETFs that track it. And I'm going to give you, just because, Tumi is my friend, I really love what you brought there. I'm going to give you a couple of ETFs that I want you to look at. You don't have to invest in them. But again, like I said, I'm giving you ideas. I always believe that when you do a session with anybody, I don't want to do sessions where I say, oh, high risk. These are investment that they take your money, but they'll give you more money. Low risk. These are investment that won't take your money, but they'll make more money. To me, I believe that that's, I say, like I'm saying my language. I'm just telling you, that's theory. That's not things that'll put money in your pocket. I want you to leave this session. And by the time you go out and download the app you're supposed to use and do all of that, in 2 weeks, in 3 months, in 1 year, you would see me on Instagram, or you see my page on Instagram, and you send me a message and say, God bless you, madam, for speaking that stuff you told me that day. And I actually took action. That's what I want to do. So that when you leave here, you actually see that I bought this ETF, or I Googled this ETF. I put this ETF in Yahoo Finance, and I found out you could do this, and I have made this, just from that ETF. That's what I want us to do. And I don't want to just tell you story about it. Now, one great ETF I'll tell all of you to buy today, I always recommend this, is the S&P 500 ETF. And the one I usually do is VOO. VOO means Vanguard Information Technology, means Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. This one is by Vanguard. And what is this? It's just the top 500 companies in America. That's what it is. They're not exactly the top companies, but then by market cap and by different criteria, they have been selected as a microsim, so we call it, of the US stock market. So they use it to gauge the US stock market. Now, what I love about this ETF is this. Yeah, this S&P 500. Don't worry, ignore all of this drama that you're seeing. What I love about this S&P 500 in the last 40 years, 40 years. That's how great this is. In the last 40 years, if you've invested in the US, in this S&P 500, each month you have money, you put it in S&P 500, and you save it there. Instead of just saving money and just saying this, if you did that, you'll have made an average of 12% every single year. An average of 12%. Last year, if you invested in, you made an average of 38%. That's how great this ETF is. In the last 5 years, you'll have made 92%. Remember, this is in dollars. Yeah? Dollars. Correct money. In the last 10 years, you invested in this EAT stock, you'll have made 244%. I can bet you, if you put 100,000 naira that you had and you put it in the last 10 years, you put it in 2011, your money is basically useless now. So those are the things. If you 40 years, you'll have made an average of 12% yearly, and you are telling me you are not buying ETFs. You're not buying. Moving on swiftly, let me give you another ETF. This one I love. This is the Vanguard Information Technology ETF, because guess what? Technology is here to stay. That's what makes our life better. Every single day, there's a new company. Sorry. I hope you guys can hear me even better now. Every single year, there's a new company that comes out, or new ways that technology is making our lives better. and you're not investing in it because why? You were scared. The great thing about ETF to me is low risk investment because why? For example, in the S&P 500 alone, you have 500 companies. If one company goes bankrupt, even if 10 companies go bankrupt, you have 500. People say, oh, what if all the 500 companies go bankrupt? Fantastic. So that means we have something else to worry about. If the top 500 companies in America, which is the biggest economy in the world, if they've gone down, all the top 500 companies, then it's okay. World War III has happened. We have more to worry about. It's not about the stock market again this time. There's more to worry about in the world. Yeah. So that's why if those companies fall off or they don't meet the criteria or they fall to number 501, another company takes their space. So that's what I mean, that this are selected for you. You don't even have to stress yourself and you don't have to do too much to get there. That's what I love about this thing. Now, telling you about the VGT. If you've invested in the VGT in the last 10 years, you'll have made an average of 20% every single year. You would have invested in great companies like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Visa, Tesla, so many companies that you love, PayPal, Square, MasterCard, Visa, so many companies that you love, over 300 and something companies. That's what you would have invested in. If you bought shares if you bought a stock of VGT, Vanguard Information Technology ETF, that's just one. And those are the ones I tell you, spread your money into that. You have 100K, put your money there. Put 20K on it, put 30K, another 100K shoes, put it there. You are making money. Look at what I said. In the last 1 year, it's made 60%. So that means if you put money in it in January 2020 and you withdrew that money in December 2020, you'll have withdrawn 160K. You beat inflation, you make 60% because you're investing in dollars. It's as simple as that. And that's why you see me so passionate about it, because I see it and I see that people don't even know that this is possible. It's extremely possible. Yeah, from your phone. The final ETF I'm going to share for us is ARKK. And this is paid information on my people. I didn't tell anybody all these things, but I'm telling you guys because I believe that you need this knowledge. And this knowledge will truly change your life. I don't believe in sharing theory and telling you all of the history of the world and telling you how, you need to look at GTB and stuff. The fact is I don't care about it. I don't even understand it. But I understand how to create wealth in the stock market. And it's the practical knowledge that I want you to take. What's the ARKK? I love ARKK because its focus is innovation. Innovation never dies. So while a lot of fields are new, molecular diagnostic, gene therapy, big data, robotics, Internet of Things, so many things, 3D printing, they're all new. But remember, that's exactly what it looked like that's exactly what it looked like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when Apple was starting out, when Microsoft was starting out. This place is where the next future companies are going to be. And that's why I like investing in this ETF. And it's a dangerous one. But you know why? Putting your money in an ETF instead of investing in these singular companies gives you so much edge. Because why? It's in a group of companies. If one goes down, another one is there. They cover up for it nicely. That's why I like ETF. I hope you guys, please, I hope I'm not speaking to myself. Please, yeah? My people in the Lord, before I continue talking, kindly put in the chat box that you are listening to me and you are
listening to you.
Yeah, bro, Steve, are you
We are
listening?
listening to you.
You are listening. Is it entering?
With rapt attention.
Thank you. Okay, please. My name is Sholzo, not Ma. So thank you. So that's what I like about ARKK Innovation ETF. That's what I love about it. And see what they invest. See the companies that they invest in. Tesla, Invitae, Square, Roku. Look, these are companies that are changing the future. Teladoc, who is giving people, now you don't have to go to the hospital. Sitting by the front of your screen, the way I'm speaking to you, you're seeing a doctor. You're explaining your symptoms. It's only when they need you to come in that you go in. So many companies are changing the way we live. That's what ARKK invests in. I love their leader, Cathy Woods. I believe that she's my mentor. She just does not know that she's my mentor. She's my mentor. I'm connected to her spiritually. She just does not know. But that person, that lady, looks for these things that change life. Companies that are looking at doing things we don't see in the future, that we don't know we need now. They are solving problems we don't even know we have. That's what they're doing, and that's why I love. Now, this ETF, what I love about it, in the last 5 years, if you've invested in it, I'm telling you, you'll have made an average of 39% every year. When I say an average, I don't mean each year you'll have made 39%, but you'll have made an average. There are years you'll have made 60%. There are years you'll have made 20%. There are years you'll have made 70%. For example, last year, ARKK, we invested in it, you'll have made 155%. What do I mean? You put 100K in it, as if you took it out in December last year, you'll have taken out 255K. Like without carrying it, and people are going to do Yahoo. I don't understand. Why are you doing Yahoo when there is legal Yahoo in front of you to be made? Put your money there, be praying for there, or just be looking. In the morning, you wake up, you go to Yahoo Finance. What's happening? Wow, what's Katie doing? I see bought more shares. Oh, okay. I hear Twitter is doing good. That's Katie bought more Twitter shares. Oh, wow. That's all you have to do, my brother. So when they're talking about things on TV, I'm telling you, when they're talking about things on TV, you put on Bloomberg, you see Quest, even you will be impressed with yourself. Because now you understand how these things are saying, what these people are saying. So imagine investing in the last 5 years cumulatively, made 542% if you invested in it. And you are not investing in it. You are going to sit down with GT Bank shares, or you are sitting with all these Alagbole company shares. Don't let people deceive you, my brother and sister. There is life. There is money to be made. And I tell you, your life will change if you start to look at these things and you start to literally make changes. I wanted to talk quickly about some companies, but I think I'm going to skip it just because of time. Because I try to break down to my people why I say invest in some companies. It's because you can almost, sometimes you don't need the government, I say government, you don't need the pastor to see vision for you. Sometimes the vision is right there for you to see. Even Christ says you will look. By the time you look, God will open your eyes of understanding. Because if you look at companies like Tesla, if you look at companies like Tesla, you see what they're doing. If you look at how they're changing lives and you realize that they're changing the way we live. They're changing what we do. There are companies that look at Tesla in the last 5 years. Did you see that? 1,400 plus percent. You put $1,000, 1,000, or you put 100,000 naira. You're sitting on how much? You're sitting on, look at it now. Look at the number of percent. You are sitting on at least 1.5 million in the last 5 years of investing in it. And you are still sitting down there on a long thing. You're letting them take life for you. You're letting someone come and tell you story of how GDP is this. You beat inflation. I'm telling you, inflation is a mosquito. Investment is the insecticide. It kills it. Rambo, Oma, finish it to the dead level. That's why I always say, and for us, it's not a lot. I wake up this morning and I've made, I see salary has entered, extra 10K, bamboo stuff. Here, I put my money in it. Once I put my money in it, I'm looking at it. Last year, and I'm not lying, I know because I invested my money in this. Last year, Tesla shares, I bought Tesla shares. I started buying Tesla, and people will tell you, stocks are expensive. Tesla is already here. I better don't listen to them. There are village people speaking in another color. There are your village people speaking in another shape or form. When I started investing in Tesla in 2019, when the first stock market, US stock market stuff, first US stock market app opened in Nigeria, I was the number one because I checked. My name was the number one person that started investing in that company because I had read so much that I knew exactly that I needed to get into this thing. That's when I started buying Tesla shares. As of last year, at the end of December 2020, my Tesla shares had made over 390%. Guys, that is legal ogbonwo. Please, who knows how to translate that in Igbo? I need my Igbo people to understand. If there's any Hausa people to understand, that's legal blood money without lifting a muscle. Some people are working their butt off and you are not investing in those companies. You are not taking your 2 naira, your $10, 500K. You eat lunch, last on lunch. I don't eat lunch again. No, I carry Gary to the office now. No time. Because I don't see my money now. I see my 100K, my 100,000 naira, and I don't see it as 100K. I see it in Tesla in 10 years, and I'm not seeing 100K in front of me. I'm seeing 1.5 million naira. That's how I see my money now. Just because I've seen the light. My people, open the light of your understanding. I've seen the light. Don't let anybody deceive you and stuff. And that's what you're going to do with a company like Tesla. Look at what it's made in 11 years. And some people are telling his eyes. See, that is your village people speaking. If you cannot buy Tesla alone, buy ETF that covers Tesla. Tesla is 10% of ARKK ETF. So you are scared of, my money will go. Go and put your money in ARKK. So you see that there's no excuse. That's why I tell people, there's no excuse for you not to invest. Etsy is another one, another fantastic company, a company that you can't even think of. It's e-commerce for niche products. Those people that knit, those people that do, it's not just anybody, they are crazy people, but they are going places. So better let's follow them. No need to be deceiving yourself and be waiting and be doing all those things. They are going somewhere. That company, if you invested in Etsy in the last 1 year, 213%. I know because I put my money in it. When I say I put my money, it might not be plenty money, 50,000. You know, the day we have 5,000, I'm not lying to you guys. I invest. There are days I have $3 to invest. I will put it and I will invest it. At least I did not spend it on wosi wosi. Whereas that's what a lot of us do. We spend our money on wosi wosi, or you buy car, or you will buy land. Land is good though. Just know that when you buy, if you spend 1 million on land, just be ready for another 1 million. Owole, all those boys that want to kill people for land. And there is not even, when is that family land again? I don't have time for that. My shares, nobody even knows that I own them. You will not even see. Maybe it's money that you see that you know. It's there. Yeah. Look at what Etsy will have made you in 5 years. 2,000+%. Guys, do we know what 2,000+% is? 2,000 times 20. Hey, we are carrying gun. This is legal gun we are carrying. And we are all looking, telling us. And there's a lot more where this came from, a lot more companies, a lot more ETFs to do. But some industries I want you to think about as you leave today: electric vehicles, ride hailing, drone delivery. They are delivering things with drone now. We are still looking for keke. People, don't let Nigeria happen to you. Invest. Orbital aerospace. You know, people are thinking beyond going. They're thinking of, how can I get to New York in 30 minutes to make an appointment? How can I get to those are the things that people are thinking about. E-commerce. How many of you have not bought things online, on Instagram? I mean, Tumini subscribed to my service just because she saw it on Instagram. So we have so many things: automation, digital wallets, Bitcoin. Oh, I love cryptocurrency. Guys, I never used to do cryptocurrency in December. But as of January, my life changed when I started to read so much about cryptocurrency. And it's literally just digital files that have become money. That's what cryptocurrency is. Digital files that become money. And so because of that, they're not easily counterfeitable. Please give me 1 second. I beg you. Let me just put on the AC in my house. Thank you very much. Apologies, it's just getting a little warm in here. So that's what cryptocurrencies are: digital files that become money. I always say that in cryptocurrency, don't try to understand it. Yeah, just follow. When I say just follow, just learn it, because if you try to understand, you will never be able to understand. Because you don't know how people wake up and turn digital files. How can I have a set of 26 numbers and letters, and it becomes money? But I'm telling you, digital files, digital cryptocurrency is going to make banks obsolete. Go and just the same way email, the life of email turned postal industry into oblivion, turn them into obsolete. And when was the last time you posted a letter? When was the last time? That's how you sent a postcard, when you can send it via email now. That's what cryptocurrency is going to do to the banking industry. And because the government cannot control it, it's from me to you, P2P, peer to peer. And you are not investing in it. You are not looking at these things and saying, this is where the world is going to. We are almost caged in Nigeria in our thinking. We are not only caged in the world, we're caged in our thinking. And until you expand yourself and to say, really, is this thing high risk? Is this just not more the worst risk in the world? It's for me not to invest. That's the worst risk. It's for you not to actually invest. Because this is where the future is. Why do I tell you that? If I wanted to, as I sat down here, if I wanted to send money to someone in Iceland, I have never been there in my life, and I wanted to send money to someone, and that person gave me their USDT address, Yeah, USDT is a type of stable coin. And they gave me their address. They sent it to me and they sent me, oh, this is the network. Just imagine that USDT that I said address is like your bank account. And the network is like the bank, GT Bank. That's what it is. They send it to me now. I would transfer money to that person now. The person will get it in less than 2 minutes. In freaking Iceland, I don't have to go to the bank. I don't have to fill forms. I don't have to put gift and lies and co on it so that the government will not hold it. I don't need to change a freaking currency. I don't need to do anything. And that person would collect it instantly. That's what cryptocurrency is doing. That's where the wealth is. That's why the government doesn't like it, because I don't have to pay anybody anything. I would send $500,000 with less than $1. $1 in commissions. And the person has gotten it. People's schools, if people's kids are in India, they need to send money to them for school. It is without going to the bank, without saying, oh yeah, call Yabisi, we will transfer Naira to a Naira account. She will do the change for us there. She will give you this. The rate today is 700. Who has time for that? When you've got Binance, when you've got USDT, you've got Bitcoin. That's what Bitcoin, there's a lot more to these things than we see, guys. There's a lot more to the future of how we do this thing. Look, the numbers Bitcoin or the numbers of cryptocurrencies has made, it is astounding. When they say something that iyalenu, I'm trying to break this in Yoruba so that people understand when I say it. When they say it, you say, oh, I know. What was just coming off of my mind like this? That's how you look at the numbers of Bitcoin, because who can explain to me how Chainlink, if you invested in the last 5 years, you'd have made 17,000%. Calculate what 17,000% is. That's not times 17. Yeah, that's not times 17. That's times 170. That's what it means. Percent. That's what you would have made on it if you invested in it 5 years ago. When, remember, all of us are still saying, oh, these, they are thieves, they are this, they are that. I'm so sorry, I speak a lot in my local language because I feel like there's some things that we don't express well when we just say it in English. Just because you don't get how you, and these things are growing and you are sitting on the sidelines. Your village people have won. No, they have finally, they have want to get here, they have get you. There's no other way. As we say it in Nigeria, they have get you if you don't see this thing. So they are risking for us, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. The stock market, the stock market went down a couple of months ago, but it's back up now. That's the nature of the stock market. It goes down, it will go back up. Cryptocurrencies are down currently, but will they go back up? Hell yes. That's how it works. So the trick is understanding how to share your money or share your resource across this. Look at the numbers. Look at Ethereum. Look at what Ethereum has done in the last 5 years. 15,000%. And it will keep growing. Guess what? People said last year that was the highest. People will say this year that's the highest. It's going to happen. 2025 is going to come here. And what are you going to say? At least now you've heard. What are you going to say? Are you going to say you didn't know or you're waiting for it to crash? It has crashed and it will come back up. That's how it happens. That's how it is. That's the way it is. And it's new. So how do you start today? Download the right apps, guys. Download the right apps.
Hello,
Bamboo.
Shaw. So sorry to butt in. 5 more minutes so that you can take questions.
Okay, no worries. We're done, actually.
Okay,
Download the
thank you.
right apps. Deposit in your local currency. Guys, people say, oh, if I want to invest, I have to go and change dollar. After nobody has time for that. You don't do that. You use your naira, you use your dollars. That's how to do it. Yeah, select great companies or ETFs. Pick great crypto projects. Plan for long term. That's the biggest mistake we have. If they tell you now, I know some of you here that did MMM. Don't let me call your names. I investigated you people. If they did right apps. To invest in stocks, ETFs is Bamboo. Bamboo Invest, very easy. Bamboo Portfolio, I'm writing them down so we know. Bamboo Portfolio, sorry, why am I sending direct message? Let me just put it in everyone. Bamboo Portfolio, all of them. That's what Nini, you need to help me tell our people Bamboo, Passfolio, those are the apps. All these ETFs I told you about, they are there. You don't need to do much. You're already there. Just pick them. And what more, you can actually join my clan, Wealth Motley Clan, if you wanted to get more. Same thing for cryptocurrencies, Binance, all of those things are there, and you can invest, you can buy all of these things. Invest your money. If you had 100%, I'd say divide it this way. 20% goes into short term, which is that, oh, life happens. Guys, it's when you start saving that your great grandmother will decide to go to heaven. Don't let anybody deceive you. Life will happen. So that's 20% what I want you to run to. 60% of your savings, each month, try to put them into ETFs and stocks. I put most of my money into ETFs. Why? Because ETFs are like sure banker. They might not make as much as stocks, but ETFs, no matter what you get paid, your stuff will grow and you get dividends. You know why? Because there's some companies in the ETFs that will always pay dividends. So you get dividends at the end of the day. Again, remember, low fees. That's very important. That's what ETFs gives you. 5 to 10% into cryptocurrency, because never put into cryptocurrency money you can't afford to lose. I believe 5 to 10% of your money, you put it there, you can make 100% from that, or you can lose it all. But at least you've given yourself a chance to make money there. Agrotech, also high risk, but I believe in agro partnerships all of my heart. I've been investing in it 2018 and it's never failed. Yeah. But there's a lot I used to invest in that's failed. But that's part of this stuff. That's part of the climate. And that's because that's the only Naira investment that I'll say I put money into, just because they give you higher than stuff rates. So thank you so much, guys. I hope that my quick session has been informative and I hope that you've enjoyed it. I see quite just a few more questions now. Let me stop sharing so that I can answer a few of our questions. But I hope that it's been a good class and you guys have enjoyed listening to me and my long gist. Do we have foreign accounts to be able to invest in ETFs? No, you don't need any domiciliary accounts. You don't need anything. Download Bamboo app, download Passfolio, True, Chaka. I personally use Bamboo just because it's very easy and the swiftness of it, that's what I use. And I believe that it's a fantastic one. It makes it very easy for new beginners instead of Passfolio. So I use Bamboo a lot, or I always recommend it to new people. So do that. You don't need that. You invest with your Naira. It's converted into dollars on the app. Same thing happens when you want to withdraw. So you don't need a domiciliary account. You don't need all of those things. No, you just use your same account, your same GT. That's it. Yeah, very easy. Question, are there some required mandatory documentations? No, you don't need any. There's no document. It's just an app, guys. Download it today. As I'm on this call now, I expect some of us to have downloaded it. Download Bamboo. Bamboo is the easiest. Download it, register on it. Fill the stuff they give you, put in your next of kin if you have to, and then put in money. By Monday, the money reflects, and that's it. Buy the shares you want, buy these ETFs, these 3 ETFs that I've spoken about, and tell me in 6 months if you will not see the difference. Yeah. Yeah, I've given the names of the app. I think I have answered everyone's questions. How do we start investing in ETF? Exactly the way I said it. Download the app. Depending on where you are in the world, Bamboo for Nigerians. If you're in other parts of the world, Passfolio works in virtually everywhere. If you're in the US, then Robinhood or any of those works. Yeah. But I hope I've been able to help. Thank you so much, guys, for inviting me. Yeah, I've overtalked. I'm so sorry that I like talking too much. Super apologies, but I hope it's been a good one. Thank you, guys.
I mean, gosh, Shola, that was absolutely lit. My WhatsApp was just going boop, 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 boop. And that's why I had to drop there that, we Yoruba women were like that. We can talk for the whole of West Africa. What I would like to say is, please follow Shola at Wet Motley. Shola, actually, if you think you have heard anything, trust me on this. I've not lied to you guys yet, and I'm not about to start. I look at her energy and I'm like, you should be a teacher. She would break it down for you. You can see she's trying to rush up. So if these are things that you want to learn more about, please follow her. She runs classes. She has the 4 months, she has the 6 months, she has the 1 year. Start at your level, and I can assure you, as she said, it's going to be worth your time. I had to mute my mic if not I scattered this meeting. I was just laughing. And believe me, this is the same Shola. You guys need to see Shola. I was begging her, Shola, please, just your love. Don't let them come and carry us. let us respect ourselves and be very, professional, because this thing is being streamed live. Shola is Shola is fantastic. She's going to give you the right information. In fact, what one of my friends said was that I think she charges too low for what she offers. As in, I've not given you that feedback before. She actually looked at it. I was like, all this she does, and she's charging this little. I think she charges as a beginner. If you sit with her, you would get lots of value. We're about to bring in our second speaker, so
So
I
much,
can't.
everyone.
Yeah,
Let's
Shola,
welcome.
love you, love you, love you, love you, love you.
Thank
You're
you.
the best. Thanks for showing us Nigeria. Immediately I met Shola, I've been saying that people can't tell me there's no hope for Nigeria. When I met Shola, I said, super hope.
Yes.
Super hope. Super. You've had a degree. She started from nothing to this, to that, to that. The most important thing is just start. Keep
Yeah.
moving. Thank you so very much, Shola.
Everyone, have an amazing, amazing day. Your session is beautiful. I'm so proud to have come here. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so next on the line, guys, we've told you that this is the day of the Lord. The words of Shola, your village people will not succeed. She likes saying that a lot. Up next is Jerry Osagie. Jerry is somebody that I've known way back from school, and his growth is phenomenal. I begged him that, Jerry, I had to say this. I have been saying this, let it not look like theory. So I'm happy you're coming here. We started from University of Ilorin together. And yes, he'll talk about himself. But one of the things that made me very happy to bring him up, not bring him up here, that is making me happy to talk about. I like, hello, so Jerry, what's up? Where are you? Incidentally, the last time Jerry and I saw was somewhere in Ikoyi in Lagos. He was representing his company, I was representing my company, and we jammed. And I was like, hello, Jerry. And he was like, sorry, will it be online or will it be physical? Because right now I don't work in Nigeria again. I said, Gangan, thank you. So tell us about it. And I'm sure, aside from breaking the myths of borrowing, he's going to be telling us about it. These are things that we've been telling ourselves on Read platform. Your location, your geographical location does not determine your limitation. And that's what this is about. It does not determine your limitation. So, Jerry, please, you have to steal 2 minutes to tell us how you got this job. Because, people have to change jobs. If you be investing, the more you earn, the more you can invest. So, we want to know. We want to know. So, Jerry, over to you. Please unmute, and I can't take your time. We have too much to learn from you.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Can you
can.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being here this evening. Thank you very much, Reed. I said Reed. And thank you very much, Itunu. Thank you very much, everyone in this place this evening. And Shola, I just want to tell you that is a fantastic presentation, highly engaging, with a lot of energy, so much energy. And I love it when people bring their energy and their passion to everything they do. And I think that is one thing that I've, distinguished what she has done here today. So thank you very much, Itunu, and thanks everyone for bringing me on. I'm going to make this very short. Just a little about myself. I don't know what Itunu is talking about, but my name is Jerry Osagie. I work practically, I don't tell people maybe that I've worked 16, 17 years in the financial industry. I tell people in terms of finances or borrowing, I've had well over 30, 35 years experience. And you tell me how. What has happened is that I do not count my professional experience at where I started in terms of lending, borrowing, and stuff like that. But I look at from day one that I worked in my mom's shop, and I like to give practical experience because I'm the son of a market woman. So as far back as the 80s, I've actually understood what borrowing is all about, and as well as investing as well. That is one thing. And having worked with financial service industry again for another 17 years thereabout, working across risk management, product, retail, commercial banking, personal banking, digital finance. I do a lot of things. That's why I think I enjoy most of the things that Shola was talking about. I do a lot of things around digital finance as well as implementing digitization across the financial industry. I'm privileged to have spoken in a few platforms and within a different place, and I've also written 2 books that talk about access to finance, which has also gained readership in a few places across Africa as well as Europe and America. And I've also worked in development finance, which also gave me the privilege to be able to work on one of the most impactful development finance program in the history of this country. And in the times of COVID-19, which came suddenly, while we have a lot of frontliners, I had the privilege of also designing and working on what we call the COVID-19 loans in Nigeria that with urgency, within 2 months, gained an application of about 2.7 million, and the second line gave about 4.1 million. Today had about 600,000 people that have benefited and over 290 billion naira before I left that, and to practically say, let's go to Africa and see what we can do. So it's been a privilege here this evening, and I want to really appreciate Itunu. Itunu has been a friend, she's been a sister. We've been in the same school together. For you to know, you can see Itunu like that talking. She's an engineer, in case you guys don't know. Fantastic engineer, and you had carried a lot of boats and nuts and everything before she started doing telco. So it's a privilege being here. Tonight, just going to talk about something that, I'm sorry, I like this question a lot. So you could, if you want to stop me when I'm talking, you can actually stop me. So this is practical. So I don't have a presentation. We're talking, I just want to discuss. I want to talk serious business. We're talking about loans. So the meat of loans or the meat of borrowing. So if some people hear loans, I mean, that's just truth. So some people also love loans. So the question is that when Ibugun was talking to me, he was like, some don't even want to hear about it at all. And I quite understand. And that is why we're here today. What is that thing that makes you afraid whenever you hear credit? When somebody said, Yemi, borrow me 500,000, how do you feel? I want to get people's response. You can just speak, you can chat. It's important. Getting your response, tell me that we are in sync. Nigeria, Q1, Nigeria used 1.1 trillion to service loans. That's a lot of money we would have put somewhere, right? It's crazy. Think about it. If Nigeria did not borrow, we wouldn't spend 1.1 trillion servicing loans. That's one of the myths of loans. You understand? Somebody tells you again and said, you know what? Any money you cannot forget, don't lend it. If you agree with me, you can just say yes, you can say no. Any money you cannot, raise the red flag. I mean, thanks, Bruce. You hear about loan, it raises a red flag. And the question is that why? So there's a lot of myths around borrowing. So the moment you hear borrowing, there's this red flag in your head. So there are some questions I want you to have in your mind. You can put that question aside. You can provide an answer to it as we go. Somebody say, I'm scared of defaulting. Fantastic. And I love that. So I want you to just have this question at the back of your mind. And you're going to be telling me and the house your answer in a few minutes. Have you ever borrowed before in terms of money? What was your first time like? So if 1 or 2 people are going to just tell us this in 60 seconds, what was your first experience like? That's the first question. Second thing is that when you borrowed, why did you borrow? So somebody said I borrowed money to get goods from the UK. And the third question is that what is your most unpalatable experience about borrowing, if you ever borrow? So very important. You can just go ahead. Somebody can just speak now. It's a discussion. You can unmute. If somebody raise their hand, just unmute. I want us to discuss. Somebody said I borrowed to buy a house in the UK. The person that borrowed to buy a house in the UK, I want to ask one more question, if you don't mind. Is it a house that you have to live in everything, or you have to rent a part of it? I want you to also keep that particular question on one hand. Then when you wanted to approach somebody, who did you borrow from? So I've seen a lot of people who have borrowed from the bank. So I'm glad that a lot of people in this place have the experience of borrowing. But there are different needs of borrowing. So what are the major needs that you have seen? Some people say, oh, the Bible says, oh, no man, nothing except love. So we're not supposed to borrow. I'm sure you agree with me. Oh, no man, nothing except for love. So if I'm going to borrow anything, the only thing I owe you, is to love you as a sister. I'm not going to borrow. You need a house. You need to do a particular business. My Bible has told me, I owe no man nothing. I must not borrow. One of the myths of borrowing. Another one is that I'm scared to default. That's another one. Somebody saying something? So another one is that I'm afraid to. Hello, go ahead. So another one is that I'm afraid to default. It's another major myth. Fantastic. I love Stephen's response. I'm sure you're going to share some things with us because you understood borrowing. Another myth, I don't want to default. So critically, if you are always paranoid about defaulting, it's a major myth. If you are a spiricoco on one level, there's another one. Beyond that, the Bible also said the borrower is a slave to the lender. Right? So if you really understand and you read your Bible, you know very well, we are there. So you can't borrow, you will be a slave to the lender. I understand. The Dangote is not a slave to his lender. I will get there shortly. I want us to be practical. Another one is that they'll tell you to go and bring collateral. It's all about collateral. Another one is that it's very hard to get approval. So, guys, there's so many excuses for you not to borrow. There's so many excuses for you not to borrow. There's so many beliefs out there not to borrow. There's so many, and I agree with you. Honestly, I agree with you. And I don't have any issues with that. I agree with you. But let me tell you a few things. Jerry Osagie that you're looking at here is also a product of loan. I'm not doing you are shocked. And I'll tell you why. Sometimes when I will go to school, and I'll tell it, then I'll come to University of Illinois. Some of the money I bring sometime when we are starting the beginning of the semester, it was borrowed from my mom's cooperative. Because that time there might not be money. But she was a member of 2 to 3 cooperative. And she goes in there and borrow and give me money when I'm going. Did the investment pay off now or not? So I'm a product of loan as well. And now let me give you further. My mother happened to be a bread merchant, and she sells a lot of things, grocery and all those things. And one of the things is that she joined more than one cooperative. She contributes money there. She goes to some of her friends who also are members of another cooperative. She's not part of that cooperative. And she just goes in there and says, you know what, Mama Yemi, I know that you are in this other cooperative. How much do you people contribute every Thursday when you go for your meeting? He said, just 100 to 200 naira. Okay, you know what? We are members. I'm an imaginary member. So my mom gives 150, the woman bring 150. And the woman is the only member of that cooperative. Then they can borrow you and lend you 300 of what you have saved. And the woman, and so they can borrow 50,000 and split it. And the repayment, they will be joining the men and the woman will be going to pay. So as I'm here now, I'm also a product of borrowing. So that broke one. I'm setting the background. Some believe in the Bible, which is good. We are all students. You're Muslim, you believe in the Holy Book. Very, very important. You don't borrow. There's another myth that we can also go. For those who also believe in the Bible, when they were to help the woman who nearly killed her son, if they go borrow more jars so that you can fill this oil. When the head of the axe was lost and they shouted, say, alas, we borrowed it. So if you're telling me that your Bible says don't borrow, the same Bible recognizes that you can borrow. Thirdly, the parable of what? The sower. The parable of, in terms of talking about the seeds. The parable of the talent. Even Jesus told them that if you have put the money in the bank, you would have come back with interest. What you don't recognize is that nothing, the only thing that makes additional interest come to your money in the bank is because the bank lent the money to someone and made what we call a spread. The difference between how much the bank is giving you when you bring your money. The bank will now lend to somebody, take a higher interest and add something for you. So it was recognized that even if you put your money in a savings account, you will get an interest on top. So I understood, have we broken the myth of borrowing? Can somebody just respond to that? You can speak, you can chat. Do we believe? Fantastic. Somebody said Jesus even borrowed the donkey he rode into Jerusalem. So maybe that is the final one in terms of borrowing. So those are the various things. Those are the various myths that has to deal with borrowing. But ladies and gentlemen, what is important is that I will not push you into what you are not supposed to do. And I speak very fast, but I want to talk as slow as possible. I'm not going to tell you to do what you are not supposed to do. So the question you now ask yourself, must I borrow? Another important question. Jesus borrowed 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. I love your perspective. Must I borrow? Is it important for you to actually go and borrow money? Let me tell you, even though I've presided over several credit programs across this country and maybe by extension, Africa, I can tell you that I am one of the proponents of what I call responsible borrowing. So the question is that, must I borrow? If I need anything, must I borrow? If I need money to buy something, should I go to a bank? Should I go to a credit company? Is it all the time I must borrow? That question is very, very important. And my answer is no. So as business people on this call, when you need money, when you need to do one thing, the first option for you is not to borrow. We will get to when you need to borrow. You need to look at a lot of options. So what is actually the problem? I take you back again to my mother's business school. Many years ago, anybody know Daliko in Lagos? So my mom also does vegetable oil. So over time, which we will see in credit, in terms of character, and people are able to predict your cash flow and predict your cycle. There's a woman will go in there, she has a big store, she buys a drum of vegetable oil. The woman found out this company that my mom comes all the time, despite her other business. And over time, she only has to pay for 1 drum, and the woman will give her 3 other drums in addition. What has she done there? She had borrowed, but she didn't pay cash. What she enjoyed was what we call supplier credit. They gave her the money. So there are sometimes you don't need to borrow. What you need is a supplier credit. Now, she goes to the market with money for one. They give her 4 in return. She sells and she returns the money and she makes gain. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is not compulsory that you have to borrow. It is not compulsory that you have to go for credit. I give you another one from my mother's business school. She was the first depot in the whole of Osagie, Muchi, Isolo, local government. The first person that is a major depot of breads and all those things, distribution. Has well over 400 retailers that comes to her. The different other bakeries come and market their product. When they market their product to her, they give her several loaves of bread. It could be over thousands. And they tell her that, you know what? When we come next week, we will collect the money for almost this 10,000 loaves. And she has 400 other retailers who will come spend for 3-day cycle, which can go twice. At the end of the day, they generate money, they pay her, make her gain, she paid those guys as well. So it is not all the time that you need money that you have to go for a loan. So if the answer is, must I borrow all the time? The answer is no. So how do you know if you have to borrow? The first thing is that you must establish that you have a financing gap. So we've broken the myth of borrowing. If Dangote didn't borrow, Dangote probably won't be where he is today. I can tell you that for free. The fertilizer that started operation a couple of weeks ago or days ago, last week, was on loans. The refinery that you're looking at was on loans. If Dangote coughs today and is ill, there are about 10 different or 20 different international banks, local banks, who can foot the bill 100%. Why? Because there is a value. So you must understand there must be a financing gap. So what is a financing gap? A financing gap is the difference between where you want to be in terms of financing and where you are. So take, for instance, I need to purchase a machine for me to process wood, and it's about 5 million naira. And that will enable me cater for 100 of my customers who come in on a daily basis. And what I have, just 1 million naira or 500 naira, 500,000. Your financing gap becomes 4 million. If you are unable to determine that you have a financing gap, then you do not need to consider a loan. So the first thing that you must establish that is a financing gap. And that financing gap must also be very, very important. Some people's financing gap are in the beer parlor, I can tell you. Some financing gap are in the beer parlor. So somebody is actually drinking, and the next thing is that the guy said, I need more money. So you must establish a financing gap for you to know that you actually need this money. And once you establish the financing gap, then you now look for your sources of financing. So do I need to go to a credit company or do I need to go to a bank? Your first source might be your friends and family. Your first source might even go to approach somebody that have that particular machine who can give it to you and be collecting money, and you don't need to part with money. So ladies and gentlemen, it is not every time you part with money. It is not every time you go for loan. The moment you determine your financing gap, you need to establish the sources of the finance. Where can I get this money? Now, if every other source proves abortive, then you decide that loan will be your last resort. And in everything you do, you must have a financial advisor. Because I've seen a lot of people. They come to me, the first thing they say, Jerry, my father has one house. I just want a loan to be able to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing in a loan is not your father's house. It is not your house, it's not collateral. So today, let me break the myth that a lot of you have. Loan is not about collateral. The most important thing about a loan is your cash flow. That is the most important thing about a loan. Do you have the ability to generate money? If you do not have the ability to generate money, then you don't need to go for a loan, because the loan will come after you. Now, when you now get this loan, what is also critical is your expected return. So these guys that went for 4 million naira to add to get a loan to buy this particular machine, if it's for 3 years and you need to pay 200,000 naira back every month, what do you actually generate for you to be able to pay? Now we talk about what we call the concept of debt to income ratio. How much revenue do you make? And what is the percentage of that revenue when you compare it to the loan? The loan we pay every month, is it higher than what you're going to be making? Then you don't need a loan, or you need to extend the time. Very important. If you have to pay 200,000 naira back, I expect you to earn a revenue of around 800,000 naira. Or maybe worse still, 600,000 naira. So that when you pay your loan, you are able to have more money to do some other things. Very, very important. I go to what you, if you want to borrow. Now that you have found out that I want to borrow money, what are the critical things you need to be able to borrow? Either in a bank, either a credit company, a microfinance, or all those things. Ladies and gentlemen, there are things they call 5 C's of credit. Your character, your capital, some of those things. I don't want to go into that. But the most important thing I will tell you is your identity. Who are you? What do you do? Today, identity is one of the most important things if you have to come to borrowing. I don't need to see you most time to know if I'm going to lend to you or not. The things you do, I can easily read it. The business you do, I can run it. I can run a data that can look at 50,000 endpoints of what you do. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, the conversations you have, the friends you have on social media can determine how much I'm going to give to you as a loan. There's something we call social proprietary algorithm when we're looking at the loan. I can look at the quality of your friends on Facebook in seconds, in all your social media handle, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. I run it in microseconds, and I will know if you are credible enough to get a loan. Your digital footprint and your identity becomes one of the most important things for you to get credit now and going forward. So ladies and gentlemen, what you do online is very important. The kind of people you connect to online is very important, just like the kind of people you connect to physically. I take this further. The association you keep, if you are in a business person here, going practical, and you're in a particular market that they are notorious debtors, ladies and gentlemen, please pack out from that market, because the moment a financial institution, a credit company, a cooperative label a market, but that market is notoriously debtors, they will never lend to anybody, even if you are the best person on earth. So your identity, make sure you guard your identity. Very, very important. Your credit history is one other thing. A lot of people talk about credit score. We use a bit of that here. But have you taken a loan before? If 2 people come to me, I need money. One has been borrowing 100,000 in the past 3 years and is repaying back, and he wants 150,000 or 200,000. And there's another person that I know that is rich and has never borrowed before. I will give money to the guy that's been borrowing before, because I do not know the character of this guy that is coming to me for the first time, even though he earns 1 million naira a month. Distinguish. There is a marked difference between a man that is looking for loan and that same man that you have approved a loan. There are some people, they will be begging you about a loan. The moment they get the loan, they become a different person. There are people, a couple of days ago, you saw what happened to one of the guys in the Senate. Take a loan, did not repay, people went for him. There are people, if you give them loan today, you are seeing them every day coming to the bank. The day you approve and extend the loan to them, you have to go and sit at their door 1 a.m. on a Monday to see them driving in, because that's the last time you will see them. Your character, very, very critical. The purpose of loan, you must have a purpose. If the purpose is defeated, then abuse is inevitable. So ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of your loan must be critical. Please, if that purpose is not there, it must be something that will generate asset or will satisfy you emotionally or monetarily. So one of our colleagues on the call said, I bought a house for myself, want to rent, and I bought another one. I'll get to that later. When you take a loan, that's mortgage. You satisfy your conscience if you're living there and say, this one will satisfy my family emotionally. There are some people, they will not take a loan and use the entire one to buy and say, we'll live there. Say, like, part of it, I will extend. Part of the money of that you can see on that mortgage, on that house, you take what we call an equity out of it, and you take money and buy another house. Another thing that is also very, very important for you to know is that we must be able to track your income. A lot of people, you're there, you needed a loan, quite all right. But you say, well, me only for me see bank, me only for me see microfinance, me only join cooperative. I can't join this cooperative. Nobody know where your money is. You are keeping it under your pillow. And you now complain to it, you know, actually I need a loan, but nobody is giving to me. The reason we are not giving to you is that because they are not able to track your income. They don't know if you generate any cash flow. So they think you will take the money and go to beer parlor. So for me as a bank, or as a finance company, or as a credit company, or as a cooperative, or as a credit union, the most important thing for me is that, how do I get my money back? Ladies and gentlemen, what is important is that if you don't know how to pay money back, don't look for a loan. If you don't know the purpose that it can generate you asset, don't look for a loan. If you know that you are in a particular place and you're doing business and you do not have a certification, let's say you open a chemist or pharmacy store and you don't have a certificate to do that, and you borrow, the day they close it down, they say, all those things are important for you to be able to take a loan. For a business as well, it's important for you. People will say separate your finances and all those things. I love what Shola talks a lot about investment and all those things. Let me tell you, in 2008, 2009, all those time was booming. Stock, I borrowed to buy in the stock market. I knew that the market became fake at the time. I sold my shares. When I wrote my stockbroker and told them that, you know what, you sell this particular share, sell all my shares. She wrote and said, Jerry, why are you selling your shares? I said, I just want to say, Jerry, I know you. As you're selling your shares, I'm selling all my shares. I sold my share 3 weeks after subprime mortgage happened. The entire stock market crashed. 3 weeks after I sold my entire share because I was watching the market. Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk, you must watch the market as well. But there are some kind of investment you have, you don't watch the market and wake up every day. You get other people to work on your behalf, but they must be experienced people that you're able to trust. And that's why I like most of the things that Shola talked about earlier. So ladies and gentlemen, your history is important. I tell you now, I used to tell my daughter is doing, somebody come in now and say, I want to marry your daughter when it's out. I will activate all my arsenals to know where you have been because you know different place. Are you taking SK? Are you taking Paraga? Are you taking all these things? You can't hide from me. I will find you. The same thing, if you know you need to get a loan, your history is important. Sometimes we can predict your future as well. And that's what comes into student loan. The kind of opportunities you're looking, is this something, if you're taking a loan to go and read petroleum engineering, you might not get a yes when you get to some of the Empower loan because they will say you're talking about fossil fuel and we're talking about renewable energy. I'm telling you that can drop your score even if you get a loan, your interest might be higher. Your tenor might be short. So there's so many things that play out when you're talking about a loan as well. I talked about the expected return. So it's very, very, very important. How much am I making? Very important for me. How much am I making for me to determine if I need a loan? I remember a couple of years ago, I've made some mistakes, a couple of pitfalls. And let me not go there now. So some of us want to take a loan. I want to give you some secrets how you can take advantage of either a financial institution, take advantage of your credit union, take advantage of the opportunity to get a loan in terms of to borrow cheaply. One of the things I can always tell you to go for any development finance institution loan, but you know you have a lot of people there. But I'll tell you, any country you are, be it Nigeria, Ghana, the US, anywhere, that the government backed or a central bank or reserve bank backed credit is released and you need a loan. Ladies and gentlemen, be the first to apply. Anywhere in the country. I'll tell you, when COVID-19 happened, Nigeria and the United States launched COVID-19 credit almost on the same day. I remember that night, Monday 30th, March 30th, 2020, when I went live with COVID-19 loan. 7:10 p.m. precisely, we went live. Within 24 hours, that night, we got 10,000 applications. The United States, same day it started, had 10,000 applications. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people will tell you that nothing will happen. Please don't listen to anybody because they go behind. Development finance loans are one of the easiest loans, are one of the, because the conditions are not as hard and the rates are lower. The tenors are longer. 1. 2, if you take a loan and you have a very long loan, know fully well today that the longer the tenor of your loan, the higher the interest rate you will pay, and the lower the money you will pay on a monthly basis. But at the end of the day, the money you will pay at the end of the loan will be very high. So how do you reduce that? Anytime you have one bulk money, pay it in there. Tell them, part liquidate my loan. At the end of the day, if you take a 30-year mortgage and pay that mortgage in 7 years, for instance, the bank will not like you because their expected income have decimated it. If you take a loan of $10,000 for 20 years, what you probably be paying back is about $40,000 or thereabout. But if you pay that in 5 years, you probably pay back maybe $15,000 or lesser. The idea is that the longer the loan, the lower the amount you will repay, but at the end of the day, the higher the total amount you're going to repay. And if you see it, you might want to hit yourself. So you must have opportunity for you to reduce the principal of your loan when you get a raise, when you get some money. Very, very important. That's another thing. Some people call it prepayment, some call it pre-liquidation. Another strategy for you to be able to take advantage. If you have a loan, and maybe you take it from a microfinance or these people that charge so much high, 5% flat per month, I have an opportunity of a loan of 18%. Of 18%, which gives you about 1.5%. Thank you very much, Stephen. Of 18%, which is 1.5%, and somebody is charging you 5. Go for that loan. You don't need money, but I'm giving you. Go and collect that loan and do what we call a refinancing. Take that loan, pay down the other loan you have at reduced interest rates, start paying the one of 1.5% flat. You are saving 3.5% flat. Because a 5% flat loan gives you a 60% per annum loan, which is a mad crazy loan. But a 1.5% loan opportunity gives you an 18% per year per annum. If you see that, go and take that loan and pay down the one that is expensive. At every point in time, you must pay down your expensive loans. Financial institution might not like it, but this is stuff. So another thing you could do for those that have a mortgage, the value of the property can increase from 100 million to maybe 200 million. Take from the value of your property, go and buy another property. and take rent on it. That rent pays this particular mortgage. At the end of the day, you're living in a house that you're not paying. Somebody else is paying. We can talk and talk about this. But what are the pitfalls of loan? Cannot meet. Key pitfalls you need to look at. Avoid loan sharks. You see all those people that will come to you and say, come, take 15% flat, I give you the next day. Loan shark can collect your house document, collect this one, collect your car. Avoid loan shark, ladies and gentlemen. They are mad. Not all loans require collateral. The most important thing for you is your cash flow. Ladies and gentlemen, start from where you are. Can I get a supplier credit? First of all, look for that opportunity. Can I get from a friend? Look for that opportunity. Instead of me to get this, to get a particular boss, somebody say I need to get a boss to be doing distribution. Can I leverage another distribution company to come and be doing logistics for me? And people pay the money, I still earn from it. I don't need to go and borrow money. What's your expected returns? How much am I making? If you borrow money that you're going to be paying 200,000 naira per month, and you're making 240,000 naira per month, I wouldn't advise you to borrow such money. Distinguish. Please. It doesn't pay you. Because your 40,000, you use it for something else. You are practically using 90% or 80% of your revenue to pay. So you need to watch that. For those of you who say, I want to borrow, somebody is bringing money to me in dollars to borrow. Never borrow money in a currency that you are not earning in. If you are not earning money in dollars, don't borrow in dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason for that. If you borrow in dollars, you need to do what we call an hedging strategy. Because if dollar moves against you, and you borrow when the dollar is 402 naira to a dollar, and when you have to repay, it's 500, you are losing. Except you are able to hedge your currency and lock it down. That even when I want to repay, I pay at 400 naira to a dollar. Avoid borrowing in a currency that you're not generating revenue in. Very, very, very important. I like people to think about their first loan experience, if you're able to. Then distinguish. Some of us might have also been in debt. You don't need to kill yourself, but there are different things you can do. I've happened to run finance houses. People come to me. They're living from hand to mouth. They are wallowing in debt. There are strategies for you. Never run away from your financial institution. Never run away from the cooperative society. Never run away from the bank. Never run away from any of them at all. Don't. Anytime you have issue, approach them. Let me tell you one thing. You cannot do anything. They can't kill you. I'm telling you. I have been in financial institution. When you even see, we even afraid of the borrower that anytime you come all the time. But you must sit down, get somebody and say, okay, I'm owing you this, I'm owing you this. Everything. What can we do about it? Look for how much do you generate now? It's only I generate. But if I'm to pay all this your loan, I must be paying 300,000. Can you people consolidate? What are you going to remove from there for me? And instead of 1 year, can you extend it to 3 years so that I can be paying 50,000? Do a debt consolidation and pay small. Let me tell you, nobody can kill you because you are owing. I will tell you. So don't go and feel depressed and go and have high blood pressure because you are owing. If they take you to the police station, the police will still come back and say, okay, what do you and do you have anything? How will you be paying this one? If you put collateral down, you can take. Banks are not interested in collateral. Let me break another myth for you. Because banks, we don't sell real estate. That's not our business. The business of a bank is cash. So if a bank lends you money, every day they are praying that you must be okay. Your business, that's the prayer of banks. If they hear anything that is with you, last night they are the first to pray for you because your cash is very important. So ladies and gentlemen, be free to ask for restructure. Be free to ask for extension. Be free to ask for, you know what, I don't have money to pay for this particular loan again. The money I have, can we discuss? This loan is remaining 6 million naira. But I have 4 million and I don't have any other thing again. Can you tell me if I pay 4 million, will you leave me alone? That is what we call full and final. Be bold. Look for somebody to advise. So distinguish. It's a lot that we can talk about. So much more that we can talk about. I decided to bring it this low And I'll close with this. A couple of years ago, I have borrowed also to do good business, and some business has gone south. I remember borrowing, a couple of people put money together and also borrow. I imported bottles in containers from India, manufactured pharmaceutical bottles, and we had a delay before it came. The company that want to offtake that bottle, they had to get from somewhere else. So when it came, there was nowhere to sell. Something that would have gone ordinarily in 3 weeks, it took us almost a year to sell. I came to terms with all the investors. I said, you know what? I should borrow. Business can go back. So you must look at the cycle of how am I going to generate money to do this? It is critical for you to watch all those things. So distinguish, it is good to borrow, but the borrowing must be for the right purpose. And if you look at Dangote today, it cannot survive without that. If you look at some of the biggest names in the world today, they borrow. That they are borrowing is strategic. So I appeal to you today, don't just borrow. Try to borrow strategically. That is when every option for financing has been exhausted. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Wow. Can we hear me? That was Can we hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, my phone
Your volume is low.
is better now.
Very low.
Very low. Ah, is better now? Hello, is better?
Still low.
Is better now?
Maybe it's why you are trying to get so on here. Oh, shoot. I don't know if I can respond to that.
Well, thank you so much, sir. It's been quite an amazing session, sir. And on behalf of the Read platform, honestly, this has really been engaging. Really, it's so wonderful and mind blowing. Well, before our coach comes up, I think she's having a little bit of challenge with her audio level. Um, I don't know if anybody have a question for our speaker today. I think you must have addressed almost every of this question, but really, sir, we really want to appreciate your time, taking out time to talk to us. It's really been deep, and these are some deep truths that people highly pay a huge amount for to have access to such content. And you've really shared with us from your wealth of experience. And it's a great thing that we are privileged to have access to you via our coach, and we don't take it lightly. We are so delighted to have you, and we thank you for every content and every word, every knowledge you've shared with us. We really want to say thank you and thank you to that. So I don't know if anybody have a question for our speaker today. Going through the chat, even from Facebook, I've not seen any question yet.
I saw a question here. It said, with the high level of business uncertainty in the country, from Chuka, how can we borrow safely, keeping in mind that government policies can affect business negatively? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? It said, with the high level of business uncertainty in the country, how can we borrow? How can we borrow successfully, safely,
Yes,
keeping
sir.
in mind that government policies can affect business negatively. I think that from Chika.
Okay, yes, sir. There's another question from Osagie, and he said, please, how do we watch the market when we have invested? That's the first question. And what sites do we go to steadily watch the market? So there are two questions in one, sir. The first question is this: how do we watch the market when we have invested? And what site do we go to steadily watch the market? So I don't know if you can just attend to this question, sir. Thank you very much.
Let me take the first question from Chika. He just said, Jerry, these have been enlightening. With the high level of business uncertainty in the country, how can we borrow safely, keeping in mind that government policy can affect business negatively? One of the biggest issues that is militating against the growth of businesses, especially micro, small, and medium businesses and petty traders, could be government policies. It could be erratic. So one thing I will tell you, distinguish, to borrow, sometimes nobody tells you, always make sure that the business you are doing, you are borrowing for, your source of revenue is tight. Let me use the word tight is that you must insulate your source of revenue. So I ask you, if I'm going to do any business, and that is why today, if you go into a bank or a finance house, and they find out that you are very close to the governor, or you're a political person,
Yes.
they might not borrow you money except the board level approves it, because they call you a politically exposed personnel.
Okay.
Reason being, why they call you is that anytime you have issue with that government or anybody in government, they can just enact one policy or law that will kill your entire business, and the entire loan will go south. So one of the things you do is that you must also insulate your income. And know that your income sources are diversified, or your revenue sources are diversified. They are diversified. So you must make sure that you are not only getting money from one source alone. So that is one of the ways when you have uncertainties. Another thing is that as a business, so I looked at a lot of technology companies. I'm a tech person as well. And I know a lot of people go on Twitter, we fight government a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, don't be too techy without understanding that politics and government drive the entire world. So if people sit down in Twitter and they are shouting on their government and anything, which I also fight a lot of government. Truth of the matter is that now people are seeing, you could see Flutterwave and everybody now hiring government relation people. You cannot do a business and you want to expand without getting people in your circle that understand politics and lobbying. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to grow in the world, you must understand politics. You must understand lobbying. Don't stay there on Twitter. Less than 2% of what happened in the world happened on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. The people that buy the stuff do not stay on Twitter. I'm a tech person.
Very much.
I'm a social media person. Yes.
Okay.
So, I'm answering some question just some question that was thrown at me. So I'll be done in 1 minute.
Okay. In 1 minute, because of the next speaker and our time.
Okay. So please insulate your income. Insulate your income, and the indicators you can look at. The truth of the matter is that Shola has mentioned Yahoo Finance. Some of the people you invest with, they break down most of those stuff. So ladies and gentlemen, you have to follow and interact with people that can simplify. I will tell you, you can watch your market. On Yahoo Finance, you can watch your market. You can watch your market on Bloomberg. You can watch your market on CNBC. But the easiest way to watch your market is to have a finance coach. I can tell you that. Somebody must be able to break it down for you like bread and butter. If they tell you that Dow Jones is like this, S&P 500 is like this, you might not understand S&P 500. But they will tell you this, the stock that they put together for S&P. But what is important is that, okay, this money that I put into this place, this thing that this man is saying, Elon Musk, how much has it gone down? This 1,000, how much do I have now? Why did I have that 1,000 naira? It's very important. You must look for a coach. Very, very important. Best model for borrowing for a small business. One of the critical things for a small business, first thing I will tell you, education is critical for a small business. It's important you understand, not school education like that, entrepreneurial education. Very, very important. Just sitting for you to see somebody to handhold you is important for you. So one of the best borrowing, you can join a credit union. You can even have that small microfinance beside your house. It is very, very important they see what you are doing and you start little by little. So I would like to stop there. If there are other questions, we bring it together and I can provide answers to it and you share it to the house. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Jerry. I have to join with my phone. I don't know what my computer audio is acting up. It's been an amazing, amazing, amazing time. We had to bring you in because on the Read platform, as we said, we read and we review. And, we were now we had this back and forth on, should we borrow, should we not borrow? I said, okay, guys, wait, let us bring the borrowing expert in-house. And for me, one major takeaway, because honestly, you've helped me put some things into perspective. I love the fact that you were able to come up real and open to us. I think my mother borrowed my school fees at some point. So tell me, did the investment pay off? And another major myth breaker for me is if a borrower is a servant to the lender, who is Dangote servant to? Then in other palace, I know those people are just being mischievous when they say that. They will tell you that everybody they borrow, even America they borrow. America is a very high borrower, so I'm sure this has really come into lots of perspective for us. Thank you so very much. Please, guys, we can follow Jerry on Tips for Finance with Jerry. Jerry, please, you can type it in on Instagram. Jerry is lots of value. I mean, you've heard him. Is lots of value added, lots and lots of value added. You won't, I always say, so for those of us that we talk, when you hear me say, I don't understand that people will have data and they will not have knowledge, I'm confused. Who are you following? Who are you following on Instagram? Your data cannot be bringing you bad luck. Honestly, don't let me start talking like Shola. This is the last scope. So thank you very much. Without much further ado, I would like to invite Benedicta off stage. Benedicta is not just a friend, she's a friend to the family, and I'd like to give a very short background of her. So Benedicta is coming to talk to us about how to access mortgage in Nigeria. As we've heard, there are a lot of things that we think that our government is not doing right. But the question is, the ones that they are doing right, are we actually taking advantages of it? And for me and my family, meeting Benedicta has been a thing of great blessing, because through Benedicta, we're able to access federal government mortgage in Nigeria. And it was less than 1 digit. When you are speaking to Jerry, he would be able to tell you all of that. And she made us know that this thing is actually possible. It is doable. And we had a chat, and she promised to come up here and educate us more. Benedicta, thank you so much for your time. Over to you in 10 minutes. Sincere apologies for the time push.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening, sirs. Good evening, ma'am. My name is Benedicta Aladiton Williams. I work with Platinum Mortgage Bank. I am the regional manager of Lagos region, presently in Lagos now. So I'll make it brief so that all of us can really understand what this mortgage is all about. Madam Itunu is one of our success story, herself and her husband, and some of our team too. Mortgages are real in Nigeria. There are 3 types of mortgage. Okay, what do we understand by mortgage? Mortgage is you getting a soft loan with a certain numbers of years and some condition, not a strict condition attached to it. So what we do mostly in Platinum, we make people to own their own houses. We make you landlords within 48 hours. We have a program we run for 48 hours. You become a landlord. And we have the other one, 1GT, just like Madam Itinu said, the 6%, which is the NHF loan. And we have the higher one, which is what we call, is like the commercial loan, which is called the PMBA loan. And how to assess mortgage. To assess mortgage is very easy once you have a good source of income. And every Nigerian above 21 years of age that have good source of income can access a mortgage for a house, which is very key. The NHF loan, which is the one of 1GD, is at 6%, which is the government finance loan through the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. The second one is the fast track loan, which is the bank's own product, making you to access mortgage as within their own coffer within 48 hours if you have your right source of income. And the third one is the PMBN loan, which is between 18 to 22%, depend on you buying something that we don't have, and if you have the right document. When I mean the right document, the collateral to back it up, and it's for a shorter period of time. Like for the fast track, the maximum tenure is 25 years, while the NHF, the maximum tenure is 30 years. NHF, like I say, is a government design program. Mostly it was designed for the civil servant, but it has remained open to all Nigerians above 21 years that have good source of income. And the maximum amount of money the bank can give to you is 15 million. When they say 15 million, you get a house that is above 15 million, because what people don't understand, when they say 15 million, if you are earning 80,000, you cannot access 15 million. What we do a 1/3 of your income to see what you could pay back, and the kind of loan will be given to you. Then the same thing goes for fast track. Just like Mr. Jerry said, your cash flow is very key. It's from your cash flow, your statement, how your money comes in and out of your bank statement will determine how much we'll be able to give to you. Either you're a civil servant or a business person. Cash flow is very key. The 5 C's are very key too. We don't have access to go through your Facebook or Instagram page to check what you keep, but our own record we keep are that from your cash flow and your BVM to let us know if you are indebted to other banks before those loans will be given to you. The loans are actually real and they are obtainable. What are the importance of mortgage? Importance of mortgage, you having your own mortgage houses. It makes you a landlord. It saves you from the Shylock landlords. I could tell you one good thing in life. There are only 2 things that I appreciate in life. That is land and house. Madam Itu is a success story. At the time they got their own estate, the price was 1GD, even if it was a million. But as I'm talking to you, the price of that same house is almost 2GD, if not close to 3GD too. So you can see the way it has not only appreciated, just like Mr. Jerry said, you could take a loan and look at the value, and once it has appreciated, you could use that same money to get another one while you are still being the landlord in the house. It's doable. So mortgage are real, make you landlord overnight. People keep saying it doesn't work. It works. I've been with that bank for 14 years now. So I could tell you, I'm not only a living testimony, Madam Anthony is a living testimony, and I'm sure some of you have there a living testimony to mortgage loan. Mortgage loan is very easy. Like he said, even when you're indebted to the bank, let's assume you don't have, your source of income is short of, or you run stock of cash. You come to the bank and you say to them, the bank won't kill you, just like Mr. Jerry said. You could ask for a restructure plan. It's still doable in the mortgage system too. And the mortgage, the credit advisor, they will advise you the next step to go for. But one good thing I've learned, and I know mortgages do that, at the point of you defaulting or if you could not continue with the mortgage, you could seek the bank's advice and they would help you not only to refund back your money to you, but help you to sell the house to the next person and give you back your money, the money you paid so far. So there's nothing like, what if I can't pay back? Won't my money will run short? No, the bank is ready to support you. That's why I always tell people, we bank, we are like the hospital. We bankers are like doctors. If you come to us and tell us your problem, we'll find a solution to that problem for you. But running away is not going to help you completely. We'll look into it and see how best we can manage the situation within our coffer. So mortgages are real. We cannot access mortgage. And I implore you, you can not only just get one, you can get 1, 2, 3 mortgages as far you could pay back the mortgage loan and you start a new one. Some people have 2 or 3 mortgage loans running if you have the capacity of doing that. Some take mortgages for different purposes. Some is for rent, some is for them to live in, some is for investment. I've seen people that keep buying into all our estate. Once they buy, they resell. They buy after 3 years, they resell and they key into the next one. So it depends on what you want as a mortgage. What is the purpose you want it for? Some is, like I said, to rent. Some buy, they rent it out. I noticed the one on Lugbe, when it started, the rent was about 450. As I'm talking to you, the 2 bedrooms is about 850, 800. So it keeps appreciating. Those are the benefits of it. Why some we buy, we do the mortgage and allow it to stay for like 3, 4 years when the value is a bit higher. And they will sell and go on with about 4, 5, 6 million. But the beauty about these mortgage houses is that the money you make is better than the rate you keep in the bank. When houses appreciated within 1 or 2 years, the value for the house is better than the money you keep in the bank. If you look at it, the rate has crashed. But the housing rate, that is the rent rate and the housing rate keeps appreciating. Keep appreciating every day. If you look at it, the cost of building material are so high now. And if you are looking at it, the house you bought 5 million 3 years ago, you cannot sell it that same 5. You'll be looking at 10, 12 million by this time, or even 15. It's a typical example. I fixed in 5 million for 2 years. I bought a house 5 million for 2 years and I sell for 10 million. The rate I keep in the bank for 5 million, I won't even get up to 1 million. You won't even get to 1 million. So it is good for us to invest in all this. Most people use it for even at their retirement benefit. I know people that bought houses to say, oh, Benedicta, when I retire, that is what I want to use to sustain my old age. Yes. Some sell, like I said, some rent it out and they feed on it. So it's a good source of investment for all of us to look into it and key into it. Mortgages in Nigeria, especially the NHF loan, the fast track loan, and the PMBA loan. And the rate, the good thing about it, the amount of the mortgages are fixed. Your repayment plan is fixed. Let's assume you are 60, you are 30 years old. You go into a mortgage, the NHF mortgage. You have 30 years to pay back. Like Mr. Osagie said, you can pre-liquidate or you can pay it off within a certain number of years. It is fine. But the tenor are so flexible that if you started paying 30 now, that is the 30 you pay till you are 60. It's fixed. It doesn't increase. And I thank God for the way things are, for the way we are. Every position we attain today, I remember 10 years back, I was earning lesser than what I used to earn now. And 10 years back, I've been paying mortgage. I'm still paying the same mortgage I'm paying. Even now that my income has improved and even in a better place, I'm still paying the same amount. That is the beauty of mortgage. The money remains fixed and constant. It doesn't change. So the more you grow, and that's why it gives you leverage to say, okay, and give you time to plan because of the flexible tenor involved. It gives you time to plan, okay, let me be paying 30,000 every month. Okay, when I know I'm okay within 30, and it got to a point, you don't even feel it when you pay it. You don't even feel like, okay, I'm be paying 30,000. Okay, I think it's that time. Let me just fully liquidate and think to do something else. So it's very flexible. It's not choking. It's flexible. It gives you time. And at the end of the tenure, you'll be satisfied. You'll be more happy because it's a good investment that yields speedily for you. So thank you very much. I said I'm going to be brief. So if there's any question anybody needs to ask me, I'm ready to answer the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Benedicta.
Yeah.
Okay, so people, any questions? We're shooting our time. We said it was going to be 2 hours. This is 8:04. Benedicta, for
Yes,
people
ma'am.
that want to reach you, please, how can they reach you? Let me talk like Shola now. My people, don't let
Okay.
village people be after you. As a Nigerian, this is your birthright. For me, that was the way I saw it. Immediately I heard it that there is one money that one government has put to me somewhere to access. I said, no. I know they carry last. We must enjoy it together. So this is your national heritage. I don't know how to say it better than that. It is a fund from the government. It is there. If you access it or if you don't access it, it is yours once you can meet the criteria. And as she said, the criteria are not stiff. Be able to produce source of steady income. You heard that come to as low as 8,000. I don't 80,000. And I'm sure since it's civil servant minimum wage 30,000, start from something. Just start. So Benedicta, okay, somebody's already asking, is there a minimum income level to access the NHF
loan? Okay, the truth of it, like I said, the money is meant for all Nigeria. We are going to rate you based on your take home. Like I said, you don't expect to be earning 80,000 and you want to go for a loan of 15 million. If you are earning 80,000, we're going to work with that and tell you the loan that you can obtain within that 15 million. Of course, it will be less than the 15 million. So, but everybody is entitled to it. No matter how small your loan can be, you can carry the whole Nigeria. If you don't get 15, you could get 13, you could get 12, you could get 10, you could get 3, you could get 2. It depends on your take home. Because we always do 1/3 of your income so that we won't choke you. So it will be easier for you to pay back the loan.
Okay, what if you are not a salary earner? What if you do your own business?
Okay, if you are, we work like I said, we work with your cash flow. You give us your bank statement. We look at the kind of business you do. We work it out. We use your income for 6 months to see what we can give to you within that 15 million. Some are even overqualified for 15 million, but 15 million is the maximum we can give.
Okay. Then somebody is asking, can a Nigerian working outside Nigeria access NHS? Are you paying tax?
Yes, they can. No, they can. They can. All
Okay,
Nigeria above 21, and they were able to meet our condition. The one, they should have BVN because it's key, and they should have a Nigeria register address. All Nigerians above 21, either in diaspora or living, can access NHF.
Okay. Then Chuku is asking, also, what's your opinion on diaspora mortgage? How do you create access for Nigerians abroad with sustainable cash flow to access mortgage in Nigeria? I think that's what she just replied now.
Yes. We let me just break it down. We have people, I have even clients that have not met one-on-one. But what we do, we ask for that document, we provide the document because it's not everybody. And for you to be able to partake in diaspora, you must have a Nigeria account with us. You must have a Nigeria account that has a BVN to show us, yes, we can identify with you anywhere. Then 2, we'll get your, we know a lot of our brothers over there. Most of them don't even have the right papers, but they should have a Nigeria account statement here. With that, we can provide that account, and at the same time with a Nigerian address and next of kin in Nigeria that we can get in contact with if we can't reach them because of their job schedule time and the timing too. So we have somebody we can always relate to, but all other documents obtainable in Nigeria, they have to provide too. And they're easy documents, just like your passport photograph, bank certificate, your birth certificate, your home address. So it's not really strenuous that we can't get within Nigeria.
Okay. Chuka is equally asking, on the average, how long will the NHF application take?
Okay, good. That's a very good question. You see, like Mr. Osagie said, NHF will have some factors affecting it. One is the government policy. Two is availability of funds. You understand? There's a difference between, okay, let me use the present regime now. There's some application that was sent in for like, let's say 8 years ago. When the new administrator came in, that President Buhari, it took time for them to be able to get board for Federal Mortgage Bank. So that kind of delayed the process of approving the loan to the mortgagor. But on a give and take, normally the standard should be 6 months, within 6 months. But there are some other factors that could affect the delay, which is one, the government policy and availability of funds. But the truth of it is that even with the timing, you must get, because it's your right as a Nigerian. It might take time, but you are entitled to it. Once you apply for it, you will surely get.
Thank you very much. I think the last and very important question is, people are asking, how can they reach you if they want to reach you?
Oh, Madam, please give them my number. I can give you my number.
Okay, we need to ask.
No,
Okay,
please.
so I'm going to drop
They can
number.
not only my number. You can check me on our website. It's not too strenuous. Platinum Mortgage Bank, Benedicta Laditon Willis, 08023113380, 08180320016.
I've dropped it in the chat group.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
So thank you so very much, everybody. A big thank you to all our speakers. It's been, you guys would agree with me that this night has been fire. We promised you fire and we delivered fire. And we're 11 minutes above time. So I just want to say a very big thank you. We've come to the end of the June webinar. July is loading. We keep at it even when we don't feel like it. And as we say, meet you at the very top. You are buying the houses, you are buying the shares, we are doing everything. We are doing everything. We are practicalizing all this knowledge. Very, very big thank you from me on behalf of the entire Reed family. It is goodbye, good night, depending on the part of the world you're joining us from, and God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.